Money, money, money. Money, money, money. We got that fly, you been money. We talk about that money. We all about that money. Money, money, money. Money, money, money. We got that fly, Nubian money. We talk about that money. We all about that money. We love our black skin, our melanin, always focusing in on that money. We always win, money never thin, 'cause we hustling, always focusing in money, 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 money. We got that money, 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 money. We that fly Nubian money, boss talk on it, we stack it up.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. I'm Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and we are back. We are back after a summer hiatus. Obviously, I think I shared this with you all already. I was on a medical leave, and this is actually my second month, 8th week post surgery, and I'm feeling amazing. I missed you all. I missed you, queens. Real quick, let's I just want to know what you all did this summer. Like, what did I miss? What have I missed? The people in our lovers in the chat, our consistent followers, I want to know what you did in the chat as well. Shalaye, what you do this summer, girl?
Ooh, I've been working and taking a lot of like little micro vacations with my girls.
I love that. What about you, Aisha?
We went out of the country, but we are back and, doing business as usual.
I love that. Where'd you guys go? Did you go? Do you want to share? Did you guys go to Nigeria?
No,
No.
no, I'm going to Nigeria soon, but it was close. Went to Cabo and Mazatlan.
Love Cabo. Love that. Love that. Lots of fun. What about you, Dr. Charm? What did you do this summer? What have you been doing?
I have been working, closing deals, apartment locating, getting my real estate, keeping my real estate certifications up, and then I just got my life insurance agent license on last Friday. So now I am a independent life insurance agent. We're doing all the financial planning here. So yeah, definitely been doing that, doing comedy. And finally, I think the last time I did this show, I was still in the kitchen because there was boxes and bags and stuff everywhere because I moved to Decatur where it's greater. And so now finally everything is unboxed and in its proper place.
I love that. I love that. And congratulations on all the things. I love that. Nomalanga, what about you?
First of all, I want to say I'm in Botswana. Was in Botswana during the summer and now, and it is not summer. It has been winter and it's been cold.
Oh, it's summer.
The opposite. Yeah,
it's winter.
Opposite. Yeah, it's been winter. So yeah, but doing our thing, wifing and winning,
Wait a minute. Now, so in Namibia, it was summer because y'all look like y'all was no.
I mean, desert summer is different than desert winter is different than American winter. Like, it's not gonna snow. It's gonna be mildly cold. It's more like spring or fall. The summers, although the heat can get really bad. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I do. I wanted to, and also in the chat, hey Double A, hey Deborah, hey Booker, it's good to see you all too. Let us know what you've been doing. We want to know. All right, so let's jump into this topic, y'all. I think it's a great one. Okay. So basically, what happened was I found 2 examples of mothers who are taking pretty extreme measures to protect generational wealth they're building in their families. So let's take a look at them. The first mother says her children already know that if they marry outside their race, they will not receive access to generational wealth. Her position has created a lot of conversation online, And we talk about it all the time, the importance of black families, black wealth building. We want to own property and build businesses, invest, have life insurance, and leave our children something that they don't have to build from scratch. What this mother is saying, what these mothers are saying is, if you go against my rules, then you will be forced to build from scratch. And today, I guess I want to know: is there something wrong with that? Is she being extreme? Is she controlling? Are they controlling their children? And I just will start with that. Obviously, I have the best queens in the world for this conversation. I'm just going to go quick. I have Aisha Virzi, who is an insurance expert, financial expert. Nomalanga, who is a mother, moneyhood, and money making expert. Dr. Charm, who does all of the things. Listen. That's what Dr. Charm is going to accomplish, all the things. When is your birthday?
January 7th. I am a Capricorn. That's what we do. We're very ambitious.
I was about to say, you got a Gemini thing going on too.
I do have some Gemini in the chart. So yes,
I know you do. Listen, that's what we do. We be like, some days we want to be an astronaut, some days we want to be a singer. That's what happens. And obviously I have Shalaye Camillo. And listen, all right, let's get it popping, y'all. So do you think that this is a form of control? Do you think that, do you agree with what this mother is saying? I'm going to start with you, Shalaye. Is the mom being controlling?
I think she is being controlling, but I think it's well within her right. She's trying to control her legacy, and she's trying to control, she's trying to control outcomes. It may not work out, but she has the right to say, hey, I built this wealth and I want to kind of steer you in the way that I believe that you should go. So here are my rules.
Yeah. What about you, Aisha? What do you think? Is she trying to control? Do you understand where she's coming from? What do you think?
I understand where she's coming from. However, understanding her depth of what she's doing is what would be my next, want to understand why the depth of the stringiness of what she's doing. But otherwise, I think she has the right to do that. She's building something for her family. She wants to make sure that whatever she's building doesn't get sidetracked. So I understand.
Yeah. What about you, Dr. Charm? What do you think?
Well, I got to do my stats. White people are 3 times more likely to receive an inheritance than black people. And we definitely have a wealth gap. So if it is a black family, it's usually somebody who's boomer hooked, so they're getting it from a baby boomer. If they are boomer hooked and they're able to get that inheritance, you better do what mama says. Leave me alone, Becky. You better leave Becky alone.
Okay. All right. What about you, Noma? What do you think?
So my first thing is that where's the father? Why is there only a mother? And I have a really different take on this, because what happens in a home, and I'm not trying to offend homes where there are no fathers, that it creates an imbalance. And this is the type of thing that you'll find where we kind of see extremes. She could have her feelings about white people. There's nothing wrong with that. But this is extreme. This is extreme. Yeah. We all want to leave inheritances and legacies for our children, but there's a limit to how we should do it. And I nowadays, I really want to focus on my faith, and the Bible really does say, know ye no man by the flesh, we spend our lives reacting to racism. And everybody knows me well enough, if they know my commentary for the last 15 years, how much I abhor racism. So this isn't about let's all get busy with Becky, right? No. But at the same time, I would never do something like that. It's too extreme, and it contradicts the faith that most of us say we belong
What scripture says, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I understand that. What's interesting to me is they're 2 separate stories, and we'll go into the second story a little later, but I really wanted to start here where the mother is saying, listen, and we'll figure out why she's saying this, but I think just initial reactions, I understood that she's building something, and it's her money, right? And her rules. And when I went down the rabbit hole, I found that every other culture does this. Everybody has rules, right? Like You know, when it comes to the Rockefellers, there's certain things that you just can't do being a Rockefeller. So
Absolutely.
I just wonder if them setting a standard is what this is. You know, more this is these are the values of this house.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
I
And so
think
that's what I got.
the standards surrounding, values and character, but race is a little bit kind of too extreme. But if you take your character, who you are as a person, the values we uphold, that is different. But when you say this color or that color, then it's like, wow, okay, where is our faith in all of this, right? Because you just don't know who someone's going to fall in love with. And how do you break that just because of finance, right? So that's why I kind of feel, well, it's a little bit extreme if you use race as your measure.
You know, this is interesting. This is going to be really interesting.
He better
Let's
get with a Bonquisha instead of a Becky, honey, if he wants that money.
because she's not there. Because in real life, she's saying it's okay if you want to marry for love. That's fine, but that's going to affect how what you receive,
Mm.
and so I wonder if that is valid. So let's get into the video itself, just so we can see it and figure it out if this is legit or not. I'm on the ones and twos, so thank you for your patience in advance. Um, Here we go.
My kids under my trust cannot even marry outside of their race. Otherwise, they will not get access to my generational wealth, because imagine spending 40 years working on changing the trajectory of the finances of your generation. Okay, that means my kids, and then one of your kids marries somebody and they take that whole wealth away. All of your hard work just gone because they decided to marry for love that they thought, and then somebody takes that away.
And we see that quite often.
Thank you.
Many of us, especially our sports players,
Come on.
it's almost like marry this community so we can get the money back in there.
You know what? It's so funny too. Even to think about what Sunset says, and I know to some people that may sound super offensive, but even I believe, I don't know if I'm recollecting properly, but I believe there's stories like that in the Bible where when people married who they weren't to marry, there were consequences and side effects to that.
Yes.
Maybe you forfeited your inheritance in whatever way. So it sounds harsh, but this is
reality.
it's the foundation.
For someone like Morgan, who literally owns, in my opinion, half this country, half the wealth in this country, if you think about it, of course you're going to want to sign that. You're going to have to sign a prenup because you're taking over billions of dollars from this man.
But I want to even talk about the fact that he just told you how to preserve wealth. Like, it doesn't matter what your kids say. It doesn't matter what they feel. You're literally protecting your lineage. What he just showed you is that he's protecting his lineage, not just right now. He's thinking for 4 or 5 generations to come after him.
Interesting.
I think that the billionaire is interesting too, who has also put stipulations on, prenup stipulations on his children. Like, there's certain things coming into this family you absolutely have to do, or you can't do it. So let's talk about that. We've heard the video. At the beginning, she was basically saying, I've spent 40 years, because it kind of like, it was a little muffled, but she was saying, I spent 40 years grinding and working very hard to amass this wealth that I have for our family, for my children, for my children's children, for my children's children's children, right? And I don't want an outsider to come and be part of that, because historically, white people are known for taking things away from, it's a very, like, I hear what you're saying, Aisha, but, and Nomalanga too, like, in America, I just feel like the conversation changes, and unfortunately, we can't deny that, because we're sitting in California, Boston, the only person that's international is Nomalanga. So I want to,
But it's not just America, T. And don't
It's
forget,
everywhere.
my kids are in America.
Yeah,
that's
It's
true.
everywhere.
That's true.
Even
It's
if you come to
everywhere.
Botswana, majority of the wealth isn't in Black people's hands. The
That's
biggest
right.
companies, the most
Right.
successful ones, and I'm not just talking about Botswana; it's all over the world.
all over the world.
So it's not just an American thing, and I totally get the point. I really get the point.
I
I'm
understand
married
the
to a
point.
Black man, and I used to say it. I don't want nothing but Black, but I'm not imposing that on my kids. And it's not going to be the defining factor of the inheritance and the legacy. It's a very poor judgment to do that. But there should be standards. Every family has standards. I don't really like getting too much into my personal life, but my parents both passed away, left an inheritance and a legacy, and they left a will and a very elaborate trust. And again, there are certain things in there that you gotta kind of go along with, and if you don't go along with it, you could lose out. You see what I'm saying? So that's very understandable. And we're in the process of creating the same thing for our children. But it has to be value-based, even faith-based, race-based. The race thing may actually come off naturally. Like if you say you want somebody that's like you, that has your common values, that wants the same things as you, all of these things. My parents never said don't go with a white person, but it never occurred to me to do it, because naturally the values that we have, the things that we're fighting for, some of us are only one generation removed from apartheid in South Africa. So we have the same struggles and understanding. And I think my grandfather would fall down and die instantly if he was alive, if he heard that I married a white person, because they have such a very contentious relationship. So I get it. But nobody ever said to me, don't go out there and do that. They just understood that if they gave me the right values and the right guidance, I would make the right decision. And that's what I'm talking about.
I think the question is also, is
For
she
many
wrong
people,
for
race
specifically
is
stating
value.
about race,
Black
right?
people,
Hold on. There's two people talking at one time.
Yeah.
Okay, Shalaye started first. Start talking first, and then we'll go to you. You'll come to you, Dr. Charm.
I think the question is she specifically wrong for talking about race? I think that if this was another race, we would definitely out the gate be like, oh my God, that's racist. That is wrong. I understand her premise, though, because of the position that Black people and Black families in particular have been in this country, of saying, I'm putting this specific stipulation in place because I'm trying to protect and I want to pour back into Black families in the Black community. So I understand the premise. So I see both sides of it, because I understand the premise, but also if this was another, a person of another race saying it, we would flat out say it was racism, and we would be upset about that. But I do think that it is value-based. As far as what she is talking about, those are her values. And I believe that what she's saying is value-based based on what she values. And so I think the conversation is, what are we individually valuing as families and as a community? And I think that it really depends on the individual and the individual family, because I get she's trying to protect the legacy and she wants it to go a certain way, but she cannot control that. But she's trying to control it by saying, hey, these are the rules. And if you go against these rules, then you will be omitted. I think that she could do it in a way where it's not necessarily built on specifically race. There's a way to protect the legacy and have money going back into the community by setting up an elaborate will and saying what the money should be used for and things like that. I don't think she specifically has to stipulate it through race, but that is part of her value system.
You know,
I just wanted to also say that other races won't say it in public.
That's what I was about to say.
They won't say it in the living room.
Yeah.
They won't say it in public.
Yeah, that's detrimental to us that we're so open to say that. Like, and that hurts us at the end, because then we're ousted, because then we isolate ourselves when we say that, right? You can say that privately, but not like publicly, because we know.
And I will say this: there are families that have it in their trust, white families that have it in their trust, and they will, that you shall
but you
not
never
marry.
know. You just never know, right? They don't talk about it.
Right.
Well, is that okay? So I'm going to come to Dr. Charm, because I know she's been patiently waiting. But the thing is, like, whether we know or not, we know based on behavior. We know based on, just we know. So even if we don't say, Black people just happen to be the ones that's like, you know what? If she can't use our combs, don't bring her home. That's what it's been, right? So we'll just say it just because of our position in this country. Dr. Charm, what do you think? You were about to say something, and I know it's good.
Yeah, so basically, in my opinion, race does equal value, especially ethnic groups, because ethnic groups have different value systems. The things that Black Americans do, the big controversy that happened online was like a year or two ago, where a lot of white people admitted that they don't wash their arms They only shower like a certain amount of times a week, or they don't wash their legs. Just certain things we just don't do, and we have unique cultures, and so race can and does equal value, and then also it's also a pragmatic thing. I agree with what she said. I worked 40 years for this money, and then it's going another way. Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant was worth 600 to $1 billion, 600 million to $1 billion when he tragically passed away. He created a family trust, and that family trust is only his wife Vanessa and his children, and
Yeah.
his surviving children. He was on the outs with his parents. They had a contentious relationship, but he had stopped financially supporting his parents and his sisters years before. He made them work. But okay, say you're on the outs with mom and dad. You still have two sisters. His family was left with no money. They didn't leave anything. His mother and father had to sell memorabilia, and so that's problematic. What about his sisters? Even Tyler Perry's father was extremely abusive, but he still provided for his father until his father's last days. So, no, all that money, 600 million to $1 billion, is now gone to a white Hispanic family. And his black family has nothing to show for it. And they are the ones, that Hispanic family did not produce one of the greatest athletes of all time. The black family, and his father was a basketball player, produced one of the greatest athletes of all time. Yes, people should be able to put some and divert that money to our own community. It's just being practical and being logical and being smart.
But that's a trust
I
issue.
think,
That's an issue
yeah,
with his trust. He could have set it up like that. He chose not to,
he
and that's
chose
an
not
issue
to.
in and of
He
itself.
chose not to. There was a reason
Yeah.
behind it. We don't know the reason behind it. And I think also that from hearing that video specifically, it's almost like they don't understand that there are tools you can use to actually set this up. You don't have to fight with anybody. There's, choices that are irrevocable. As a family, you have a meeting, everybody's there, it's set up, and it's irrevocable. So it doesn't matter what anybody does, it doesn't change. But this idea that you're already thinking you work so hard, somebody takes your money, well, then you need to find the right people to advise you properly on how to prepare. So you're not afraid all the time that someone's going to take your money away from you, right? It takes family to be intentional, to come together, hash it out, fight it out, create something that they all agree upon, and then make it irrevocable. So no matter what you say, what you do, we all agree it's done, right? And then you establish it. So you're not fighting or worrying about somebody's race or who your child marries, because then it takes away from being a human being. It takes away from you being a person that loves God and actually believes in God. Because what are you doing? Are you so concerned about the things of the world that you forget eternity? You forget what God is going to tell you at the end of the day. So I think that's what I'm thinking about the whole video. That you know what, there are things you can do. You don't have to be afraid. Just get it done and live your life peacefully and enjoy whoever it is that is around you and let it go.
Okay, so I'm coming to you,
Extract
Nomalanga.
something from what she said.
I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you, but I want to ask you a question. There's something interesting when they start talking about basketball players marrying, and Dr. Charm, I love that you brought that up because basketball players marrying non-black women, which the majority of them do, by the way, statistically, it's they marry black women, but for the ones that she said something weird about, like not weird about them almost feeling like I'm taking the wealth back, or they intentionally target these men and then take what they can from them, and it almost feels like inhumane a bit, like it does, because it's not, the game is about what can I get from this man. And I don't know if that's a racial thing, but it could be, right? Y'all remember we had
We did the show.
We did the show, right?
Yes,
We did the
we did.
show where the woman was basically like, here's how you snag a black player.
Black man,
Here's
yes.
how you get
White
his
woman
money.
was saying.
A white
Yeah.
woman, I'm sorry. A white woman
Yes.
was saying, here's how you snag a black player. Here's how you get the money back. So
Yeah.
Nomalanga, with that in mind, and what Dr. Charm has said, which I can see, I can absolutely agree. What do you think about that?
I just want to say real quick that most women gain their wealth through marriage or divorce. Look at Bill Gates' wife.
Yeah.
What's that man's the Amazon guy, his wife. So just wanted to say that real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Nomalanga, what do you think?
So my point still stands. Again, if you're looking at values,
Hmm.
A young black man that's been raised by a strong black man and an amazing black woman, his role models and what he desires and what he pursues, they should have shaped and molded that. He's not going to have that desire, which also comes most of the time from it's um it's it's the leftovers of being dominated by another race and then wanting to dominate them or wanting to
Hmm.
infiltrate them or something
Yeah.
like that. And I could tell you, if we had a psychologist who studied this kind of stuff, they would back up what I'm saying. There's
Hmm.
something about conquering a white woman that's ingrained in a black man because of
Yeah.
the history of colonialism, because of the history of racism. It's there. We can't deny it. And
Yeah.
some of them, that's what they're actually doing, right?
Yeah.
Or there's also this idea that white is better. And
Yeah.
some people may talk black, say I'm all black, I'm this and that, but somewhere in the back of their mind, they think that a white person is better than a black person. They think they'll have more peace in their homes. They think they can accumulate more wealth. Some of it is true because statistically, if you look at how a black woman can acquire wealth, it's not always about marrying a black man. She'll acquire more wealth by marrying into another race. So
Yeah.
statistically, that's true. But you got to look at all those things. But at the end of the day, I'm not saying we should all be jumping out of our own race. I'm just saying and that's what I want to point out about what Aisha said. You need to get some education before you start throwing out, this is how I'm building my trust. Get some advice, get some education, and understand what a trust is about, what inheritance, what happens generation after generation, how to build a will, how to build a trust, what the implications are, what the rules are, and why you're doing it. Race has no bearing. You could literally tell somebody you can go out into another race and they'll pick up some trailer trash, or you could tell them don't touch other races and they'll still get like a trash black person. It's really not a factor. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's just what I'm saying. I'm not saying we should say that marrying outside the race is the goal. I'm also saying it shouldn't be the goal to not do it for reasons that we just don't understand.
Yeah. Okay. So if you are just joining us, welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams, and today we are talking about basically would you cut off your child to protect your wealth? And there's strict mothers who say absolutely. So we are breaking it down today, and it's getting good. So I want to go to our next video and get another perspective, kind of add a log to this fire. And let's do that. Let's go to the next
So
video.
y'all see how everybody mad
Y'all
at
ready?
that black couple that said that they would not be leaving, that they told their kids that they would not be leaving an inheritance to them if they marry outside their race? Folk was talking about some damn, oh, I can't believe we're doing this in 2025. Oh, I can't believe this and that. First of all, the parents built the wealth. It's their money. They can determine what they want to do with their money. Okay? Plenty of stipulations are put on inheritances. Okay? Like my ex-husband could not get his inheritance if he didn't marry at all. Okay? Like if he had a child out of wedlock and if he didn't go to college. Like if he didn't go to college and complete his degree, he could not get his inheritance. Those were stipulations that were put on his inheritance by his daddy that was leaving it to him. Okay? So anywho, he received a partial inheritance, but he never went to college, so he never received that money. And in my opinion, I'm not gonna judge nothing that those parents decided because at the end of the day, you know how difficult it is for the black community to achieve wealth and obtain wealth. And do you know how many times wealth from the black community has been obstructed or removed by various communities? And it reminds me of this story that I want to point out too about this very famous athlete, right, who was engaged to this white woman. And when the white woman found out that all of his money and assets were in his mother's name and not in his name, she called off the engagement. Okay. I don't know if he was from Africa or wherever the hell his ass was from, but she called off that engagement so fucking fast. And that shit popped off about a couple months ago. So there are times, right?
Interesting. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Good intention. So that I think that is the thing. Like, right? We don't know what the intention is. Do you have a fetish? Are you just like, do you see gold? Are you a gold digger? Do you see gold in black people? Are black men? So I think that is. I thought that was interesting. Nomalanga, I'm gonna come to you. What is your response to some of the things that she was saying about partial? Because what I noticed is like if in her husband her ex-husband's inheritance, it was like if you don't go to college, you don't get that portion of the money. If you don't do this, you don't get that portion of the money. So it's not all. I mean, even though these mothers are saying if you do it, nah, because I'm about to introduce the next topic, but what they're saying is no, you can't have it. What do you think of about what she just said?
So here's the thing. I like that they stipulated marriage because marriage is the foundation of family. And again, statistically, two-parent homes always do better than single-parent homes, statistically. Okay. Then they talked about education. Again, success, you can measure it. If you don't get an education and you get an education, are there people who drop out like Mark Zuckerberg? Yeah, but he came from a rich family. Okay. And then she said, no outside kids. Do you know that the leading cause of poverty in Black men in America is outside kids? Even these basketball players, some of them end up with nothing because all their money's scattered everywhere. You see? So these stipulations I can respect because I understand that they're based in things that ensure generational success. Because that's what you're looking for when you're talking about inheritance and legacy. Marriage matters, okay? Education matters, and not spreading your seed everywhere also matters. You see, those are the things that I can respect. And actually, when you look at the wealthiest families in the world, these are the kinds of things that they'll say. And they also tend to have an age thing of maybe you'll get some inheritance to help you through college and then some at 25 to start off your life and then later on or whatever it is. And then they also put some stuff for the grandkids. That's how they do it because they've educated themselves about what does it take to create generational wealth, okay? Race isn't the issue. It's an issue for us because we have always been thrown to the bottom of the barrel. I get that part. But again, if you lay the foundation of the other things and you instill the values in your children, then you got to back off after that, okay? Lay the stipulations, lay the values, and then back off after that and hope that they make the right decisions.
Yeah. Before I go to this next to the next mom, Dr. Charm, I don't know, your face is telling me something. What is your face telling me? It looks like you have something to say.
Oh, actually, no. But you know what? Somebody who was that in the comments? Oh, was talking about Malcolm Jamal Warner's widow. Like it's an overarching conversation. And for people who do not know, Malcolm Jamal Warner drowned tragically a year ago. If I'm not mistaken, while he was, they were in Belize, and he had not updated his trust. His trust put his mother as the controller of the trust. It was from 1996. He had gotten married 9 years ago. His daughter was like 7 years old or something. And he and his wife agreed that he would buy $1 million policy. They had a prenuptial agreement. He never bought the policy. He had a minor child, and so now his wife was facing cash with having to take his mother to court to get to get what is coming to her, or what she was supposed to get, because his estate is different than with the money that was in the trust, and basically his earnings and everything was in that trust. And so it's a bigger picture about estate planning. There's no reason somebody should be somebody's wife and be left with nothing. So I get it that the lady who dated the NBA, the I guess it was a football soccer player, and everything was in his mother's name. Like again, as I mentioned before, one of the main ways that women become wealthy is from marriage and divorce. And so, women are still making 80 cents to a dollar from a man. So that's going to be the best way for us to get our money is to marry well and have some benefits from that, especially if you give a man children.
It's interesting, Shalaye. I'm coming to you because Black women, I think, are not trained, and we talk about this all the time. This is why we got Nomalanga, but are not trained to date well. I feel like when I was younger, it was just like, don't get pregnant, and that was it. Like that was all I was encouraged not to do. It wasn't like, here's how you date, here's how you marry. When I went to college, some of the girls, I went to an all-Black school, but some of the girls were there. I went to Xavier University of Louisiana, and there's a lot of friends I have who are now doctors because we were number one for sending Black students to med school. And so there were women who were trained to go there and to find a doctor. And some of my friends did it. And so I wasn't thinking like that. I was like, right? Like, but I think that women, that white women, are trained to just kind of handle business. To like, it's almost, that's a standard, right? So if I can't get
Money.
anything from you, yeah, if I can't get money from you, if I can't be stable and taken care of, I can't be in this situation. Shalaye, is that wrong? Like, are we? Is that? Should we get
That's
on
not
the?
wrong at all. That
Mhm.
is not wrong at all. I think that in all things, get understanding, and once we have an understanding of the right way to go to attain the goal that you're trying to attain, everyone has different goals. Then we should be training to get those goals, have those goals be a target, and how do we get there? So I don't think that's wrong at all. I think that we should be more conscious, especially raising this generation of children, going to, especially when we're thinking about wealth building, we should be more conscious of, okay, we are building this wealth. And that stat, Dr. Trum, that you spoke of about women get the majority of their money from marriage or divorce, I am curious to know what years is that stat tracking, because I bet in about 10 years that will be a somewhat of a different stat, because there are so many women who are choosing either not to marry or and there are a lot of women who I hear the stat, but there are a lot of women, most women do not marry wealthy.
Yeah.
Most women marry a man who does not have any money, or is, they're living modest, they have
I'm
a
talking
modest
about the
living
women
situation.
who actually became wealthy.
Okay, so you're talking about, okay, yeah. So it depends on what the goal is. It depends on what the target is. It is not. I want to train my daughters like that. What is the goal? And we need to train for that goal. Just like if you're training for a marathon or training to be an athlete, what is the outcome that you want? So yeah, I don't think it's wrong at all.
Okay, let's move on to this next topic, and I'm gonna come to you, Aisha, after I introduce this next mom. And we've been already talking about it, but I want to just bring it to the light. So she says, and I'm quoting. Let me bring up. Okay, here we go. Our sons are aware that if they have babies out of wedlock, they'll lose their inheritance from me, and I will have to and we'll have to start from scratch. We were clear about this prior to having children, which means that Nomalanga, I think these women have, I think they have fathers. They are just the vocal women. They are just the women who are vocal in the situation, right? Most
With
boys,
this one, I can see her big old ring too.
exactly. Like my girl is not. She's not without a husband. Most boys comfortable with doing this because they have. Most boys comfortable with doing this is because they have zero standards, expectations, and inheritance. You have to incentivize good behavior slash decisions. That is the question.
Mhm.
Aisha, do you have to incentivize good decisions and behavior?
Yes, you should. If you know it depends on your family and what your family wants to accomplish. But it depends on what kind of incentives you're giving them and what are the values you already instilled in them now to allow those incentives to make them go, keep staying on track. It's like, okay, my example that she was thinking about, oh, if you have a child out of wedlock, you can't get any of our, that's our main focus. You can't have a child out of wedlock. Okay, that's a good value proposition for her family because she says, okay, no. But for me, I understand that because as a faith belief person, you want your kids to be raised and grow up and do things the right way, right? Not the other way around. Do it the right way. But sometimes things can happen in between. Does that mean that not my child, that grandchild now doesn't matter to me because of that? No, right? So it just depends. But I will definitely incentivize them to do better. If you stay in school, let's stay focused, will make things easy for you so that you can get to the other side. But if you go the other way, we might kind of restrict what you will get. But if my child, specifically this lady, has a child out of wedlock that's not what we want, but I'm not going to cut them off, then it means you're actually destroying the next generation as well. So you're not really doing the right thing because scripture says a good person leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So so really it just depends on each family and what you value, right? And work with that. But I believe in giving incentives for my kids to do well.
Yeah.
I do believe
Yeah.
that.
They
Yeah.
better have that shotgun wedding if they want to inherit their money. Okay, if they have a slip up, it's to the shotgun with child
That's what
down
they're
to the
saying. It's
courthouse.
there's no inheritance from me. And maybe that may change. Once sometimes before you have these strict rules and then you're right, the baby comes out and it's like, "Oh, but okay, all right, let's work this out," right? But I think setting that rules is almost like fear-based. Like fear-based, like I'm going to make sure if you want this $1 million or whatever it is, here are the rules. And if you make a mistake in that, you don't get anything. But that just feels like fear.
It's not fear based. It's not fear based.
No.
Family wealth tends to leak out that way. There are women who deliberately fall pregnant, deliberately for families that are successful so that they can leech off of that wealth.
Yeah.
So you have to set something in place to say, if you have a baby outside of these boundaries, because they will start again to leak out the wealth. So you have to set that standard. Now, I will say a lot of families will have the standard of don't do that because you might lose your inheritance. But they will also have something in terms of if a child does occur, here's a set found that we have. You give them this much, you do this for them, and that's it. Because again, the assumption here is if you're willing to have a child with somebody, but you're not willing to marry them, there's something wrong.
There's something wrong.
If it's a person who meets the standard of the values that have been established, you ought to marry them. If you don't, it means they do not meet the standard somehow. So they can't come into the family. You see how? And again, I'm not just making this stuff up.
Yeah.
You guys can go and research it. That's how it works. And again, a lot of wealth is lost in the Black community because we scatter different children in different households. And there are men who have like a list, chuss up. I've been managing departments and you could literally give somebody a paycheck and half of their paycheck is gone. And there's a list of chuss up. That's taking their money. Even when they go on and marry, right? And they try to establish themselves and do things the right way, that leak is already established. You don't get to stop paying child support for the children that exist just because you turned around and tried to do it the right way. It's just a fact. If we're talking about generational wealth and building it and doing it so that it works, the rules have to apply.
Yeah. And there is a little bit of feedback, so let's just make sure in between, just so we can have clean audio, that we are muting when we're not talking. But I'm coming to you, Aisha, because I think this is interesting. When people say they want to keep wealth in the Black community, what does that mean when Black families themselves are interracial, right? Like, is that possible? Is that possible?
It's absolutely possible because to me, I don't see race as a measure personally from my experience. I just believe that there are core values that your family has that they will have to then, based on that core value, establish the trust. If you want your family well to stay in the family, it will stay in the family if you have the proper things in place, right? So I don't just really believe that focusing just on the race is the matter. And how do we keep our money in our community is truly investing in our community, right? Meaning if whatever we do, we give back to our community. It's not have to do because of our marriage, it's because we establish businesses. We make sure that if we want to purchase something, we give back to our community. It's not just only about that, right? So I'm thinking more, it has to be more in my heart, more global and more humanitarian. But I also understand again the history of our country here specifically, that the race issue is real. But how do we preserve that? We preserve that by also making sure that whatever we do, we put it back in our community. We don't run away from our community when we have money. We don't go somewhere else and build a home. We stay in our community. We start a business in our community. That is how we now continue to build that wealth that stays in our community, not because somebody marries one person that affects the whole community. Does that make sense? So it's a bigger picture, and in the smaller scale, yes, we put our trust in place so that the money stays in our family and then the next generation to come. But there are tools to use to do that. We don't have to be afraid. We don't have to over worry and overcomplicate it. Just put the right tools in place and let everybody agree and implement it.
Yeah. I often hear that It's a really interesting conversation when people start to talk about whether you still like it matters, right? We listen to people like Umar Johnson, even though I don't listen to Umar. I don't listen to Dr. Umar, but it's interesting because those points of him saying you can't marry outside the black community and still be in the black community. So there's these thoughts that we have about what's real, right? And what and I think
Can he marry a black woman first and then tell us that?
exactly. So I don't necessarily agree with that, but I think that there is something interesting about us keeping. There is a process, right? And I love what you said, Aisha, about just making sure that we're giving back to the black community and not necessarily worried about who we're married to. I don't. Yeah, I think that's deep. So let me go to this next video really quick. Because I want to put it all together because we got about realistically we have about 5 minutes left before final thoughts, and I kind of want to just put it all together because actress Nia Long, one of the stipulations for her sons to receive an inheritance is both of those things. They cannot marry white, and they also cannot marry. They can't not marry without outside of wedlock. So let's just take a look at this video really quick.
So Nia Long has two sons. Her oldest is with Masai Dorsey, and her youngest is with Iman Udoku, or however you say his name. But she just came out and said that her sons will not receive their inheritance or be cut out of her will if they, one, have a kid out of wedlock, or two, have a kid with a white woman. Now, I get you not wanting them to have kids too young, and I get that you not wanting them to have kids not in a stable environment. But Nia Long herself chose to not be married. She chose not to marry both of those men that she had kids with. She literally said that she does not believe that marriage is needed to prove love, or you don't have to be married to be in a loving, committed relationship. So my thing is, why would you try to force that on your kids? Maybe they don't want to be married. They never seen you married, or they believe what you believe. They believe that marriage is not necessary to prove love or be in a committed relationship. And then the white woman thing is just crazy. You can't force your kids to date a certain way. A lot of parents try to do it, but I mean, like, at the end of the day, they gonna fall in love with whoever they fall in love with. So that's just that on that.
Nia Long obviously understands. I think there's something in her journey where she's been like, okay, this doesn't necessarily work, especially for maybe for me it didn't work. I think she wanted to get married, but I think there was like men. I think one of them.
He was engaged.
She was engaged, and he for a while, and I think he ended up like cheating or whatever. So that is not necessarily. It's obvious that she believes in marriage. The situation just happened to be she didn't want to marry a cheater or whatever happened, but she understands the value of marriage. So I just want to start, Dr. Charm. What do you think about what he said?
I mean, I think he has a point, but this whole thing about love and, just free love, that's just not how it works. Even some of the wealthiest families, the Rothschilds and the Carnegies and the Vanderbilts and all this, marriage, they only married within certain circles. The British Crown, royalty in various cultures. I mean, we have a longer history of marriage being a contract and bringing two families together, conserving wealth, and these kind of things. We have a much longer history in the world of doing that than this whole, hey, hey, she's cute or whatever. She can do it real good. He can do it real good. I like the way he looked in that polo shirt. So it's just the world has already spoken about what history has revealed.
What do you think? What do you think, Shalaye?
What do I think about Nia Long's situation?
What do you think about her saying like, "Don't do as I do. You do what I tell you to do," right? Her understanding the importance of it, and like I think we've all said, not having random women all over the place. Now,
Yes, that's very important.
I
I think it's
understand why
very
white preference. There's like this like black preference. I
Yes.
mean, that's
Well,
a lot
listen,
of.
Mia is also in the industry. So
Mhm.
she has, I'm sure, seen and experienced a lot dating people in the industry in LA as a black woman. It's tough.
Yes.
So again, I understand everyone has their own perspective, and their rules and their stipulations are going to come out of their perspective and their lived experiences. We can say all day long, this is the right way, this is the wrong way. But the thing is, everybody is going to make these decisions based on their perspective, their experiences, and what they see their target and goal as for their individual families. And I think Lexicon had said, and I love this. He said, something about a marble not in the bag will find its own way. So, and that can be a lesson to us as parents to not try to put so tightly rules and stipulations around our kids and just trust that they will find their own way. Now, should we do that without guardrails? I don't think so. I think that putting in place the guardrails in the form of a trust, in the form of how you raise them, in the form that of conversations that we have with our children, those are the guardrails, and those are the things that set the expectations and also set their experience, right? Why they value something over another thing. Um, so I don't think that she's wrong in what she believes that they should be doing. Again, it's a question of, will that work? And is that right? I'll go back to what Aisha has been saying. Is it right for humanity? Like, we all want to pour back into, ideally, the Black community. But is it true that some folks will marry outside of the Black community? That is true. I think that the issue becomes, why are you doing it? If someone is marrying someone because they are in love with that person, that human, I am 100% for it. If you're marrying because you think it's going to give you status, or you think it's going to give you, you know, you're a white woman and you want to marry this ball player because you're trying to get the money, I'm not for that. So again, it just goes back to every individual's value system.
Yeah. You know what? This has been such a great conversation. I want to get into our final thoughts. I mean, geez, this has been good. Just so you guys know, we are back, officially back. But we are not back 5 days a week as we have been. We are back Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Again, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And then the other days, we are going to make other kinds of content, right? So we might have one-on-one interviews. Some of the queens might be teaching other things. So we're just gonna do, switch it up a little bit. Fly Nubian Money is, we out here. We're outside. I don't know. But I wanna leave on this final thought, and let's try to keep it brief, queens, just because I want to respect that there's all of us here. And so my question is, you have a multi-million dollar inheritance to leave your children. What are your restrictions? What are your rules? What is the policy? Um, I'll give you a second to kind of think about that. What is it? And I will start with, who's ready? I'll start with you, Dr. Charm. What are the rules, sis?
My rules are that they need to finish college. They need to at least get a bachelor's degree. That's important. And then I would probably be the person that'd be more inclined to give it out at certain age increments, so it's graduated. And I don't think I would put the racial classification on that, but I would probably put a stipulation that with their inheritance, they cannot leave it all to somebody outside of the community. I'll just put it that way. So yeah, so that's how I feel about it. This has been a very interesting topic because at the end of the day, it's your money and you're the one that worked hard for it, and you can do with it as you please. And hey, that's how it works. So you guys can find me on Instagram at CharmGirl77. And then for apartment locating, if you're here in the Atlanta area or if you're interested in buying a home, my real estate page for IG is Dr. Charm Luxury is there. And then I just want to make an announcement for tonight. Miss Black Hollywood's got the flyer. I am going to be with Jamie Foxx tonight on Beat Shazam on Fox, all your local Fox networks. It is going to air tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. 8 p.m. Central, but it's also 9 p.m. Pacific and Mountain. So 9 p.m. everywhere else except for Central, and it'll be 8 p.m. It's going to be amazing. If you cannot watch it tonight by any chance, it will be on Hulu starting tomorrow. I'm so excited. I had a great time. I've been holding on to this secret for an entire year. And I did go live last night and talk about it because we filmed it in Dublin, Ireland. So it was really cool going to Ireland. And I did not know that the gingers had kinky hair because all the gingers I saw had kinky hair in Ireland. So it was really interesting. But anyways, I appreciate you guys. It's so great to be back. And please watch the show. We can talk. I'm gonna go live on Facebook and Instagram tonight, a little bit after the show, just to chat about it.
I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's give Dr. Charm a clap. And make sure that you definitely support that. We will also, just keep reminding them. Let's make sure that we keep reminding everybody to watch it, Dr. Charm. But we cannot wait to see it. We cannot wait to support you. Okay. Shalaye, what are your stipulations, sis?
I believe that, and it may change. My girls are young, but right now, as I'm thinking about it, I believe that my stipulations, there would definitely be some age restrictions, like, disbursements at different ages. And I also would implement milestone disbursements, like if you graduated college, if you started a business. I want both of my girls to own property before they even go to college. I want them to be buying 3 or 4 family homes before they even go to college. So I definitely think I will be implementing milestones. And also, I will be implementing something in the trust that states how things are going to be disputes are going to be settled, or money is going to be distributed if they do marry and have children and or not have children, and that does not work out. I will have that in the trust. Oh, I'm Shalaye. Shalaye Camillo with Vital Source Realty in Boston. I'm so happy to be back. This was a great, great conversation. If you guys are looking to buy or sell real estate anywhere in the US and Canada, let me know. I'd love to help. You can follow me on Instagram at Shalaye Camillo. And yeah, looking forward to seeing y'all again next week.
I love it. I love it. It's good to see you. Aisha, what are the stipulations?
The stipulations are going to definitely be age related. If you get a certain age, this is what you get, and it will be in increments, right? Percentage increments, and also milestones. I would definitely expect that everybody gets financially educated. They have to get financial education. They have to understand how money works. They have to understand how to also allocate money that I've given them, and also that they have to pour back to the bucket. It's not just been them been extracting, but they also have to know that this money is given to them, they have to do something to also pour back, and a certain percentage will be required for them to put back into the bucket so that that money keeps growing. Because if they understand financial, literacy and understand how money works, they will actually want to do that. But that will be what I do, just really focusing on our faith, our values as faith believers, and also being intentional what we're doing. And we're already doing it right now already. For all of them, we discuss our will, our trust, what is there, what they have, what we have, and how we should be. It's a common communication in our family because we believe that no, there's no need for us for money to so overrule us because of what others have done and how history has done. If you go back, most of them are not even nobody knows about them any longer, right? But our faith will drive what we do and the stipulations just to keep them on track. That's what I would do. How can you find me? AishaVirzi.com, and also the Black Business School as a coach. Thanks. It's so
Yes.
great to be back. So good to see all of you.
Yes, I love that. I love that. I love that. All right, Nomalanga, what are the rules, sis?
Actually, I wouldn't stray too far from what our family has in place already. and that's increments. And then there's other things like you don't even have to tell your children to go and give to charity. You actually build family trusts and charities, and then you give them the option to get involved in that, and then they can draw salaries from those kinds of things. It's just the truth is that when you build a family that actually has a very solid foundation and you've given them your values, you don't have to be rigid and strict because you're already on that path. But definitely you need an age requirement, you need education. And then I heard a couple of people, I think it was Shalaye, said something about spouses. That naturally happens everywhere in the world for the most part. If you inherit something, your spouse is not getting it unless you say so. So that's one of the things too. And that also helps protect families from people who marry because they're looking at your bag and not you. So those are just kind of things, just protective measures. And also own nothing and put everything in the trust. There's nothing I can do right now for anybody to sue me. Like I have nothing. Everything's in a trust. And then it's so hard to get, excuse me, so hard to get stuff out of the trust. It's so hard to sue trusts. All properties, all cars, everything, all your money, put it in a trust and protect it. And then put those stipulations that mirror your values. And then, of course, the other thing is, yeah, there is a stipulation for outside children. It's not completely being cut off. It's just a very fixed thing of they will get this help for this amount of time, and then we're done. And again, it's also a protective measure to make sure that people don't have babies just to get access to your wealth. Oh, I'm supposed to say, I'm the only lady on here who actually doesn't really want to be found. But if you do, if you feel inclined, please support our charity. It's called Pads for Our Girls, padsforourgirls.com. We support young girls in schools in Botswana and hoping to broaden to other parts of Africa who are too poor to afford sanitary pads, and we donate to them. And if you feel inclined to help in this initiative, any amount is helpful. It's padsforourgirls.com.
I love it. I love it. I am a contributor to padsforourgirls.com. So y'all gotta make sure
Yes,
that
you are.
I am. I put myself on like a yearly thing, and I know it's not much, and I actually wanted to up my amount. So thank you for reminding me. But like, I just was like, I'm gonna just start off with something like, that people you don't even think about, and so I need to up that. Nomalanga. I love what you all have said, in terms of like how to do this, and it makes me think about like the foundation of just making sure that you create a name that's worth that people don't want to spoil. You know what I mean? Like there's value in a name. If you think about it, when we talk about the Rothschilds and the Carnegies, immediately it's like I'm a Carnegie, right? This is what my family has done. Here's the history of my family. Most people that have that sense of pride don't squander it. There's a culture inside the house. There's a culture inside where you grow up, whether it's strict or not, where you just understand the game. You're looking around and it's like, okay, this is how we operate. And I think that's the values that we're talking about. Like everybody has been saying, you really don't have to, I'm sure a Carnegie doesn't have to say out loud what a Carnegie does because it's in the culture of their family. So first of all, I would just like to create a culture at my house and make my daughter and my family and my children's children be proud of being part of what we have established, right? I think that there's something so beautiful about that. And then, of the milestones and all of that. And one of the other things is like outside of education, because I think education is important. I just want to make sure that we encourage, there's things that encourage entrepreneurship. There are things that if you are in pursuit of something and you have proven to put money, will pay for you to go to school and do that thing. You can come back to it and ask for money, or maybe there's like a monthly disbursement that's a smaller amount that you just are allowed to like go and live your life and not have to like worry. I think that like in my 20s, had something been in place for me, I think being in Hollywood would have been a lot easier, right? Like taking acting classes and doing certain things, and not, when you do that, women don't end up on the casting couch, right? When you put something in place and you're in an industry that might be like mine, like the one I'm in, you don't do things for desperate measures. You ain't in a bind, Nate. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not what happened. So I think it would be more of that, more of security of knowing that you have something to come back to. You won't receive it all, and I love the idea of what the Rockefellers did, like we've talked about, Aisha, where everybody has to get insurance, everybody, and then that money is taken and put right back into the policy, and that's how you live off of it. That's how you, and 20-30 years later, if everybody has policies, and when people die, because they gonna die, that money goes right back into the policy. And if it's millions of dollars, well, that just keeps the train going. So I love that. So I think that's along the lines of what I think. If you are interested in following me, I am Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm at Miss Black Hollywood across all platforms. Yeah, that's what we're doing around here. All right, y'all. This has been an amazing conversation. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Again, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and your money. We hope that this program has been great and inspiring for you to go out and do something today. I want to thank all my queens. It's so good to see you. I love you all. Let me give you a virtual hug. I love y'all. For the people in the chat, we saw you. Double A, Booker. Hey, y'all. We are so happy that you are back. Anonymous, what up? Go ahead and send the email. Anonymous says he's coming on the show this year. So, yeah, we got... I told him we're going to give him a rough time.
He will be revealed?
He will be revealed. He probably will come on and try to, keep his camera off. But we love you all so much. We want to just let you know that, and we will see you soon. Have a blessed day.